Welcome to our gathering today at First Unitarian Universalist Church of Stockton. We're glad you've joined us and hope you will find here what you are seeking. We are a community of individuals holding many different beliefs, coming from many different places, and each progressing on our own journeys of life and faith. We join together in our commitment to care for humanity and in our effort to shape a better, healthier, more accepting, more inclusive, and more hopeful world. We promise to accept and encourage all those persons of goodwill who gather here, recognizing that we all continue to grow and learn throughout our lifetimes. We especially welcome and stand with LGBTQ persons, even as we seek to welcome all persons of every age, ability, status, color, and ethnicity. We strive to make our community a place of peace and acceptance, love, and nurture, even as we challenge ourselves and others to live more faithfully according to the values of Unitarian Universalism. Two short announcements. We will be having our Saturday recycling event, this time adding a plant sale and a book exchange, and that'll be this coming Saturday, April 17th from 9:30 to 11:30 in our parking lot. The other is that we are hoping to reopen as of May 2nd, and when that happens, we'll put recordings up on YouTube after the service. But we do ask people who are coming that day to bring a flower for flower communion and to bring their masks and to expect to social distance. And we're going to move some of the chairs around to make more space. And we hope to see you that day. At this time, I'll turn things over to Bhakti for the Prelude.
Our opening words today are from Desmond Tutu. Liberation is costly. Liberation is costly. Even after the Lord had delivered the Israelites from Egypt, they had to travel through the desert. They had to bear the responsibilities and difficulties of freedom. There was starvation and thirst, and they kept complaining. They complained that their diet was monotonous. Many of them preferred the days of bondage and flesh pots of Egypt. We must remember that liberation is costly. It needs unity. We must hold hands and refuse to be divided. We must be ready. Some of us will not see the day of our liberation physically, but those people will have contributed to the struggle. Let us be united. Let us be filled with hope. Let us be those who respect one another. Chalice Lighting. We light our chalice today in hope that the new world opening up as the pandemic winds down will be shaped by a cooperation between the nations and the parties and the people. May our light help to shape a better world than the one we knew before. Our opening hymn today is For the Earth Forever Turning, number 163 in the hardback hymnal, if you have that. After the song, we'll take some time to greet one another.
And now I invite us to send our greetings out to one another. We can't necessarily do it in person, but send goodwill to those that you'd like to touch.
Please repeat the words of affirmation with me. We believe in love. Love is the only doctrine of this church. We believe in truth. The quest for truth is our sacrament. We believe in helping others, and service is our prayer. We believe in the sacredness of life, to dwell together in peace, seek knowledge and freedom, serve humanity in fellowship, and cherish the earth and its creatures. This do we covenant, each with the other.
We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, feeling stronger every day. We are building a new way. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. Hate and greed and jealousy. We are working to be free. We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. Start with love, that is the seed. We can feed our every need. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Without these, our world will die. Peace and freedom is our cry.
On the Night of the Shooting Star by Amy Hest and Jenny Desmond. Bunny and Dog lived on opposite sides of the fence. Bunny's house is blue. A sign on the mailbox says, "Bunny House, Private." Inside are a table for dining, a bed for sleeping, a lamp for reading, and cocoa. Lots and lots of cocoa. Dog's house is red. A sign on the door says, "Dog here, do not disturb." Inside are a table for dining, a bed for sleeping, a lamp for reading, and biscuits. Lots and lots of biscuits. Every morning, first thing, Bunny looks through the fence and the tall grass at Dog. And every morning, first thing, Dog looks through the fence and the tall grass at Bunny. No one says hello, or hi, or nice to see you today. Bunny hops and nibbles all through the day. She plants a carrot seed here and there and peeks at Dog. When night comes, she sips cocoa in bed and reads. Now and then, she checks on the light in the window of the little house, the little red house. Dog skips and sniffs all through the day. He hides his ball and digs it up and peeks at Bunny. When night comes, he munches biscuits in bed and reads. He checks on the light in the window of the little blue house. Seasons come, seasons go. No one says hello or hi or let's have a picnic today. One sleepless night, Bunny goes out to the yard to watch the stars above the little red house, Dog's house. Dog needs a friend, she thinks. Who could be Dog's friend? The stars are dim but beautiful that night. On the other side of the fence, that very night, Dog watches the moon above the little blue house, Bunny's house. Bunny needs a friend, he thinks. Who could be her friend? The moon is beautiful, and the stars. All at once, the night sky brightens. A shooting star, zip, and then it is gone. Bunny looks at Dog. Dog looks at Bunny. They had seen a shooting star, but now it is gone. Back in the little blue house, Bunny lies under the table and thinks about Dog and their shooting star. She thinks for a long time. In the little red house, Dog sits on the chair and thinks about Bunny and their shooting star. He thinks for a long time. On the night of the shooting star, 2 doors open. Bunny carries cocoa and cups carefully to the fence where Dog is waiting with a basket full of biscuits. I could be your friend, says the one. Yes, please, says the other. They get to work digging a hole under the fence. In time, it is just the right size for the one to slip through, and just the right size for the other. The cocoa is hot, the biscuits sublime. They had seen a shooting star, and now it was gone. But for the rest of their days and nights, Bunny and Dog are exceptional friends. The end.
At this time in our service, we share milestones in our lives, and we light candles of joy and concern to share those milestones. I don't have a list of milestones this day, so I'm just going to share some general ones. I ask us to think of those who are still struggling with COVID-19 and waiting for a chance to get vaccinated. Another from those who have been displaced by recent storms. Another for those who have issues around employment that have not been solved even as things begin to reopen. Another for the joys that we haven't been able to share together, anniversaries and birthdays. And one last, for all those other things that are in our hearts and minds, as I invite us then into a time of silent thought, prayer, and meditation. As we share the bits and pieces of our lives this day, I invite us to celebrate with those who are celebrating, to mourn with those who are mourning, and to stand with all those who are struggling to keep going, even in these difficult times. There are some still waiting to get the COVID vaccine, some whose friends and family members have been afflicted with the virus, others who are dealing with changes resulting from the closure of things. We celebrate that things are opening up again, but we are mindful that many people are still going to be dealing with this for a long time. We stand with them and send our energies out to them. We give thanks for this community as a place where we can share our stories, a home for our religious thoughts and wanderings, a place where we gather in community, to be with each other, to share all kinds of experiences, but mostly to be there for each other. For this community and this day, we give thanks. Amen.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea. Move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Our responsive reading today is number 551 in the back of our hymnal. It's from the Ute Indians of North America, and it's entitled, Earth Teach Me. I'll read both parts. Earth, teach me stillness as the grasses are stilled with light. Earth, teach me suffering as old stones suffer with memory. Earth, teach me caring as parents who secure their young. Earth, teach me courage as the tree which stands all alone. Earth, teach me limitation as the ant which crawls on the ground. Earth, teach me freedom as the eagle which soars in the sky. Earth, teach me resignation as the leaves which die in the fall. Earth, teach me regeneration as the seed which rises in the spring. Earth, teach me to forget myself as melted snow forgets its life. Earth, teach me to remember kindness as dry fields weep with rain. At this time, we give thanks for all the gifts, pledges, and offerings we have received, and we invite members, friends, and visitors, if they would like to share a gift, pledge, or offering, to send it to our church office at 2737 Pacific Avenue, Stockton, California, 95204. Thank you.
I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, princess, now when did you last let your heart decide?
I can open your eyes, take you wonder by wonder, over, sideways, and under, on a magic carpet ride.
A whole new world, a new fantastic point of view. No one to tell us no, or where to go, or say we're only dreaming. A whole new world,
A dazzling place I never knew, but when I'm way up here, it's crystal clear that now I'm in a whole new world with you. Unbelievable sight,
A whole new world, somewhat like the old one. What will the new post-pandemic world look like when we are able to really look at it? How much will it look like the world we knew a year or so ago? Will our favorite restaurants and stores still be around? What will it be like to fly somewhere? Will government services be any different? Will the air or waters be any clearer? How will our church be different? If the new world looks just like the old world, will we have learned anything from the pandemic? I would like to believe that corporations will have realized that having people work from home most of the time actually is cost effective. I would like to believe that traffic will remain more manageable, particularly in places like San Francisco, Los Angeles, New York, and Chicago. I would also like to believe that mass transit, and particularly trains, will be seen as an even better option for those who have to commute as things reopen. I really am hoping that the slight improvements in air quality from fewer cars on the road will continue and perhaps even progress as more hybrid and electric vehicles are on the road. I am concerned that we will not have learned enough from the pandemic to actually make lasting changes in our lives and work situations to make the world more sustainable and just. I am concerned that people are already talking about doing things the same ways as before the pandemic. I'm concerned that as the pandemic's effects are easing, people are taking off their masks, not keeping a safe social distance, acting like nothing has changed. In the Disney musical video clip, A Whole New World, Aladdin is showing Princess Jasmine the world from his magic flying carpet, opening her eyes to a world perspective, showing her the things she couldn't see from her home. Jasmine declares that she is in a whole new world with Aladdin, and that she has come so far, I can't go back to where I used to be. What have we seen in the last year that will keep us from going back to where we used to be? Our situation may be somewhat opposite of Jasmine's in that we haven't gotten to go out and see anything. And yet I think that what we haven't seen has been eye-opening in a similar way. The worldwide COVID-19 pandemic pushed many of us to see that this whole world is connected in some very basic ways, and that what we each do affects the whole wide world. Most of us have certainly gotten better acquainted with the World Wide Web of the internet in the last 12 months. And please, let's not spend too much more time Zooming. What can we do to make sure that the world doesn't just go back to where it was before COVID-19 appeared? It would be easy for many of us to just go back to working and living in the same ways that we did before the pandemic. I think that our society is pushing to just reopen and pick up where we left off. I hope that we won't do that. I hope that we will take time to look at the places where our society is dysfunctional, that we will take another look at the amount of power and wealth held by a few individuals. The wealth gap between workers and owners has been unsustainable for a long time and has continued to grow through this period. Even under capitalism, it is not only possible, but necessary to be sure that workers have enough to live well, health care for all, a living wage, protections for the differently abled. Of the first world nations, we now have fallen far back in all sorts of measures. And the pandemic has particularly highlighted the failures of health care, employment protections, and basic standards for housing and food. Before we can go back to life as it was, we also need to look at the damage we continue to do to our planet, to see where we can make changes and begin to work to restore the planet. The changes in air quality in the past year helped to make clear that reducing the pollution from gas and diesel engines really can make a difference that we need to pursue. Changing weather patterns, extreme storms, and fires have also highlighted the need for weatherized windmills, hardened electrical grids, and better preparation for rising sea levels. Snow in Texas led some to call for more coal, oil, and gas power plants, but moving to green power will create millions of jobs rather than just adding to earnings of current energy companies and still provide the power that's needed. I hope that the pandemic has helped to refocus the government on coming threats, such as future epidemics and pandemics, which have become more likely with the degradation of Earth's ecosystems due to human pollution of air, water, and soil, deforestation, and widespread extinctions of plants and animals. We can learn much from the social democracies of Europe, moving in the direction that Bernie Sanders has called for, while still remaining capitalist, just a more humane version of capitalism. Making some cuts to the Pentagon budget in favor of programs for people, such as education, could make a huge difference. Taxing corporations enough to cover the costs they create certainly could help too. The common good used to be a standard of decision-making in this nation, but too often the more recent standard has been the good of the wealthy and corporations. The common good needs to be adjusted to include the voters who can't take time off to vote, those whose polling places are being eliminated, and those who will suffer under laws prohibiting giving those in line food or water. Our UU principles call us to seek justice, equality, respect, and compassion. The ideals of our nation are even further in recent years from the reality of those making laws, running corporations, and making decisions for society. The common good standard requires a realignment of practices in our nation and in corporations. The reopening of our society is an opportunity to see differently how every person can be fairly treated. I hope that we can help those in power see and act differently. In this congregation and throughout Unitarian Universalism, we have been speaking out for justice for a long time. Based in the values of Jesus and other religious exemplars throughout time, our principles lead us to seek justice within our movement and throughout society. Letting things go back to normal is just not good enough. We need to work to shape a better world before this opportunity passes. Sometimes we need a new perspective, a new way of seeing, in order to help us make the changes that need to be made in our society. For more than 4 years, we were forced to listen to so many outright lies and mischaracterizations of reality that even the clearest thinkers may have had a challenge seeing things as they really were. Now that we have a forthright truth speaker as president, we are being faced with a number of unpleasant and inconvenient truths with which we must deal. We may not have a magic carpet to help us see beyond our castles, but there are many sources that will help us see the world as it is. It is up to us to choose our sources wisely. We have before us a whole new world, though it may still look quite a bit like the old world. The thing that is different is hopefully our perspective. We have before us a new opportunity to make a difference, to protect people who are being ill-treated, to protect the animals, to roll back some of the damage done to the earth. When we join with others who are paying attention to the science and to the needs of ordinary people, we can and must make a difference. As things reopen around us, we need to be careful to keep our eyes open to new possibilities, new ways of living, rather than falling back into old patterns. What we buy and what we do and how we live can help to bring a whole new world. So may it be. Shalom, salam, blessed be, namaste, and amen.
Low below me I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean. Still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the hedge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, while we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the lights of the heavens in a beautiful blue boat home. I give thanks to the waves upholding me, hail the great winds urging me on. Great the infinite sea before me, sing the sky my sailor's song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home.
At this time, I invite you to virtually join hands, remembering that this congregation is dedicated to the proposition that behind all our differences, beneath all our diversity, there's a unity that makes us one and binds us forever together, in spite of time and death and the space between the stars. We pause in silent witness to that unity. May the stars carry your sadness away. May the flowers fill your heart with beauty. May hope forever wipe away your tears. And above all, may love make you strong. Amen. Go in peace. Go out in love. Go out and shape a whole new world. Amen.